From Back from the Future, and we're looking at apps for people who have learning difficulties. Good morning to you, Colin.
Good morning, Alan. How are you?
So let's get straight into it, and our first app.
Okay, well, let me tell you about this. Over the last few days, I've been learning about autism and about what it means to maybe have a child with autism and the various challenges and difficulties in terms of learning and in terms of communicating with the world around them. Now, previously, technology for people with learning difficulties or maybe verbal difficulties have had to spend a fortune on very large, cumbersome devices to allow them to communicate via pictures or logos. Now, this app is developed by a very, very nice Australian girl in Ireland, in fact, called the Grace app. Her daughter is autistic, and her name is Grace, and it's called after her. And very, very simply, what it does is...
We have some pictures of it here, so let's have a look and go through it. Very simply, the whole idea is that it's very difficult in a lot of cases with a lot of autistic kids to actually communicate with the world around them. With this, we can see a number of icons on the screen. It's extremely easy to use. They can click into a sentence starter, I want there. They can put in photos. They can take a picture of anything straight away with the iPad or the iPhone 4 and load it straight into the app without going out of the app. And then they can bring in a sentence starter, bring in the picture of what they're looking for, and communicate, of course, that way with their parent or their teacher or their friend or their family member. And it just means this one doesn't actually verbalise. The idea with this app is that it allows... It's all visual. And then it also allows the child and the parent to reaffirm the meaning of that word and also how it sounds as well, so you can repeat it, and so you can have that social interaction with the other person, because a lot of the time in the case of autism, it's the social ability that is impaired, and it makes it very, very difficult to relate. And of course, a fantastic app there. That's only $29.99 on the App Store. So a real revolution for children with autism. Who are suffering with autism.
Exactly,
okay,
and that is, of course, it works on both the iPad and on the iPad, on the iPhone as well. Yeah.
Okay, next one up.
We've got a couple of other devices here as well. Now, again, this is what I was saying. We look at, I suppose, whimsical apps and technology all the time, but this is a chance to really see technology that improves people's lives. This is what's called the Autism App Store, essentially. And we're all familiar with the App Store on the iPhone and the iPad. But the Autism App Store, it's an app within the App Store that is, in fact, a store in itself. So we can actually go straight into the Dr. Seuss there, for example, and we can go into, in the same way as the App Store, we've featured apps, new apps, we can search for apps, and there's hundreds and hundreds of apps dedicated to not just autism sufferers and the parents, but also to any learning difficulties out there. And that actually that's free.
That's a free
the store, some of the apps in there have a price, but the store itself is free to download.
To go in and have a look through it.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, and the next
Now moving on to a thing called Autism Stories. This is very much like a Facebook app for parents of autistic kids. And what it is you can load up your profile and your story, and you can also connect to other people who have similar profiles and stories of their own autistic kids, their own experiences, any resources they found on the internet, they can link it in on here, and they can also chat and message each other on there as well. So it's a great support mechanism. Yeah. So again, and that's free as well.
That's free as well. That's very good, isn't it?
Now, moving straight on to the next app called Tap to Talk, and we've all probably seen these cumbersome, very, very expensive devices that people who cannot verbalise, cannot speak, use. Pointing at icons or pictures of what they mean or what they want to communicate, or in a sense, clicking on something and a very, very computerized voice coming out. We've all seen that. Tap to Talk is an iPhone version of that, but it's much, much clearer. So we can tap into icons.
Let's go. Let's go. I want to go to a restaurant. Let's have pizza.
Now, incidentally, Alan, the equipment that did that 5 years ago was between €3,000 and €10,000.
It wasn't cheap, and it was cumbersome, large, inconvenient, required large batteries, and sounded a hell of a lot worse than that Yankee voice we just heard.
Yeah.
And that app in itself is actually free. So in fact, iPads, iPhones, iDevices have not just brought on the technology in terms of you and me, but in terms of people with special needs and learning disabilities and autism and the likes. It has really enhanced and improved their lives.
The thing is that it's come on so much that interaction now with your phones and your iPads is there and available to do homeschooling, to do different things like that.
Exactly. So it's not just fun. It's not just about Angry Birds.
Yeah.
There's more to it now. And for some people, it's really changing their lives.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it really is. It is fantastic. That's it? And that's
a
free one.
Oh,
go ahead. Last one.
Quick Voice is very, very simple. Quick Voice allows us to turn a recording straight into text. And we've all seen this before on Dragon Naturally Speaking, all the speech recognition. But this is free. And what it does is we can make a recording here. Quick Voice Pro is a free way of converting your voice into text. And what you do is you stop it. You can then mail it off as text. And you can mail it to whoever you want. It just opens your email
and it mails exactly as you say.
Exactly, and if you pop in
God,
here...
I would love that. Oh, I would so love that. So it stops you all that.
You could actually send an email while you're driving, obviously safely, as long as you weren't touching the phone, but you could call it out and it turns it into text. And obviously if you have difficulty with your fingers and with typing on the screen...
And that's free as well?
That's free as well.
Brilliant stuff.
So,
OK, Colin, listen, thank you very much. Some very interesting
stuff this morning.
Some really interesting stuff. Thank you very much for that. Let's go back in the studio.